mean, I made it clear that I support Trump. I'm voting for Trump, but
you apparently crushed it from these polls out there that I'm reading about online.
A lot of people say that Harris won the debate.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I obviously have a different algorithm that's
It just
feeding
depends
to
on
me.
what. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the TomCast. Today is September 12th, 2024. Hello, Morgan. How are you today?
Hello, Tom. I'm good.
This is the Tominator, Tom Chiricello. We got a lot to cover today. A lot of things going on out there in the world.
Where's your Wawa?
I forgot my drink.
Is it in the car?
No, I got no drink. I don't know if I can make it through an episode without a water. Hold on. We got Kirkland again. I'm really reaching out to Costco, applying the pressure.
Love Costco.
I like Costco. I don't know why I like Costco better than Sam's Club, but I do. And I don't know why I like Walgreens better than CVS.
Yeah, Walgreens is more high class. That's my opinion.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is yesterday, Hurricane Francine hit Louisiana, a Category 2 hurricane. Did some major damage. So our thoughts are with the people of Louisiana. Hope they're safe.
What kind of damage have you heard?
Major flooding, wind damage. See, look, it's with flooding in Louisiana, it's dangerous because there could be gators in that water,
I didn't even think about that.
Because it hit southern Louisiana.
So were there any deaths?
I'm sure there were. It's a Category 2 storm, so it's pretty severe. And I think I read like 338,000 people are without power.
So what happens to people who their home was actually flooded and it's unlivable? Is there help for those people, like shelters? Like, where do you go? Do you go
when
to a
Hurricane
hotel?
Ian hit Florida a couple of years ago, they had shelters. But you're like in a high school gym.
Yeah, it's not like you're in a nice the Westin.
Yeah, they're not putting you up in the Westin.
Right. Gosh, that would be so sad.
The things people go through, like when you have to do something, like people can really withstand a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard for us to imagine unless you go through it. But
yeah.
If you look historically, what people have been able to go through, I mean, with these hurricanes and other natural disasters.
Well, just seeing like your house that you built and put together, and all of your belongings getting ruined. I mean, think of like hard copy photos that you have of your family. It's just, you lose all of that. It's really sad, but
hopefully they have insurance.
People are okay.
There's two types of insurance that could apply. Like you have property insurance on your home, and you also have flood insurance. Like the typical insurance policy for a home doesn't cover flood. You have to buy a separate policy for flood. So hopefully everybody has the right insurance, and the insurance companies will do the right thing. But if they don't, Tominatorlaw.com, I'm licensed in Louisiana. I specialize in these type of claims, from insurance companies when they don't pay for the damage to your home.
Who is the worst insurance company that you hate the most?
I don't hate any, but I don't hate
Which one
anyone.
doesn't do right by the customer?
I got to be careful. I'll be getting sued, but there's not one. I want to say this. Like some attorneys who do what I do, they hate all insurance companies and think they're evil. I'm not that guy. Mm-hmm. There's good and bad in everything. And I want to say that for the most part, the industry does the right thing, but I do see a lot of abuses.
All right, so when I move into a new house with Trey next year and we have to get insurance, who do you recommend we get? Can you do that? Or
I can recommend. Chubb is really good. That's like a high-end insurance company.
Okay.
They're actually based in New Jersey, and
Nice.
they've
Chubb.
been around for a long time. And very profitable company, very well managed. They're not the cheapest, but you get the best coverage. And if you have a claim, they pay it.
That's good.
So I'd recommend Chubb. USAA is good, but you have to be military or like a child of military to even get their insurance.
Wow, interesting.
Actually, my father was in World War II. I wonder if I could apply and get USAA.
You're a child.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's not alive. I don't know if that matters. But I'm happy with my own insurance. I have Geico. I got a minor accident recently, and they took care of it. They wrote a fair estimate. I was surprised that the estimate was fair, and they sent me a check right away. Very easy. So shout out to Geico for my claim.
So you got to represent yourself.
I thought they would lowball me because I have a relatively expensive car, and I thought they were going to try to put garbage parts on it, but they didn't. They paid for new parts.
That's good.
So I think sometimes insurance companies, there are some times where I believe they're intentionally doing wrong, but sometimes it's, hey, everybody makes mistakes. Like they're overloaded, like in a hurricane situation, inundated with claims, shorthanded, with staff, and, things happen. But I've been able to, I don't know what percentage, probably high 90s, 98% of the time, I'm able to get my client's situation resolved in a satisfactory manner.
It's great.
I didn't be 99%. I'll have to pull the records. But first and foremost, forget about property. Is no amount of money can bring back a life or health if somebody's injured, and So hopefully everybody gets out of that okay. Next topic I want to bring up today, as I mentioned, it's September 12th. So yesterday was the anniversary of 9/11/01, the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history. New York City, the Twin Towers were both destroyed. The Pentagon in Washington, D.C. was a plane crashed into that, and another plane crashed in central Pennsylvania. I think just under 3,000 people died that day. If you count people in the buildings, in the planes, and rescue firemen and police and EMTs and what have you. Mm-hmm. Just under 3,000 people died. The first plane hit the first tower at 8:46 in the morning, and then another one was 9:03, then 9:37, the last one was 10:03. So the president at the time was George W. Bush. Do you know where he was, Morgan?
Sarasota.
Yeah, he was at Booker Elementary School reading to second graders as like a book. And some people criticized Bush for like not running out of the room, but he didn't want to alarm these second graders. Like
didn't he get up and walk out? Or?
Not immediately. He finished the story. I think that was. That to me is really low class that people are putting him down, that he stayed in there another 5 minutes. These little kids could, if he runs out, they could have been scarred for life. I mean, it's he didn't want to.
And what was he really going to do in those 5 minutes?
He wasn't going to do
What's
anything.
Done was, it's horrible what happened.
I think Osama bin Laden, who was the alleged ringleader of the whole 9/11 attacks, said that gave them time to crash another plane. I mean, I think that's such BS.
I'm sure there was other people making approvals on what to do. Also, wasn't there some family that lived in Palmer Ranch that had something to do with this? And they fled the house?
I think
there's some story.
There is some connection to 9/11 or as our viewers may know, we're coming from Sarasota, Florida. I think some of the terrorists stayed here while they were training to fly the planes.
I think that's where they were living. I think it was Palmer Ranch, right next to my parents' neighborhood off Clark.
So
where were you that day?
All right, well, this is 2001. It was the beginning of the football season. Like the NFL started, 9/11 was a Tuesday. So at that time I don't gamble anymore. I was gambling heavily at the time. That's why I don't do it anymore. And I was drinking and gambling, and I still drink, just not as much as I did then.
No gambling.
And I don't gamble at all. But it was a great weekend. I remember like it was yesterday. I know this is terrible. I was seeing this young lady named Maria. She's just most incredibly beautiful, like 6 foot tall. She was half Italian,
taller
half
than
Russian.
You.
Blonde. I'm taller than 6 foot. But she's blonde hair, blue eyed, just really smart, funny. And I'm gambling all weekend on college football Saturday. I'm winning all my bets. Sunday, I'm winning all my bets. Then Monday night football, I win that. So now, I'm out late with Maria Monday night, and then I don't get up early on Tuesday, 9/11. I get up, And I was never big on like making your own coffee, like with a coffee maker. Even now, I can use a Keurig. Like there's one in our office.
Yep.
But like when you used to have Mr. Coffee, I never really figured out how to work that. And like, so I want coffee. So I put the coffee in, I figured out how to get coffee to come out. Wasn't very good. And I turned the TV on, like, I'm in a good mood, but I'm
What
tired.
time do you think it was?
It happened at 9 in the morning. Like I turned the TV on, it's like 9:05.
Right after, okay.
And you see the smoke of the towers. And I immediately call my office, and I'm like, my boss didn't know. And I'm like, we're under attack, And he's like, really? And then like they sent everyone home, like shortly thereafter.
Wow.
Like a lot of businesses like closed for that whole week.
Yeah, totally.
And
It was a weird time.
remember now the last flight that crashed in Pennsylvania, supposedly they were flying to. They're not sure. They think it was intended to crash into the White House.
Probably.
And what happened the last flight, the passengers are getting texts of the other attacks. Because you had text messaging by then. And so they decide to attack the hijackers, the terrorists on the plane.
Yeah.
And so they're winning. They're like, they're beating down the cockpit door. And so the terrorists just crashed the plane on purpose and killed everybody.
I feel like no one talks about the other two flights as much as they do the Twin Towers. Like,
yeah, you're right.
It's
like
just as bad, and it's really sad. But you never really hear anyone speak about those.
It was really heroic. The flight that crashed in Pennsylvania was called United Flight 93. And it was famous line at the time, like, so the passengers were in the back of the plane saying, we got to do something. And they said, let's roll. And that was like a big, like on T-shirts. And at the time, they're like, okay, everybody ready, let's roll. And they went and they attacked the terrorists. And from what they can put together, they think they were winning. But so the terrorists just crashed the plane on purpose and killed everybody.
Yeah. God, it's awful.
I don't know. I believe, I think it was, I don't want to misquote. I think Mark Wahlberg was quoted as saying if he were on that plane, one of those planes, they wouldn't have crashed. Like, he would have stopped the terrorists.
All right. He needs to shut the fuck up.
I'm no
I
knocking.
feel like that's being rude to the people that were
He
on
took
the
heat for
plane and
saying
trying to do what they could. I mean, get the fuck over yourself. You don't know what you would do in those circumstances. And at least the people that were on the plane, they did something. And it could have been worse than it was obviously horrible. They all died, but they could have crashed into the White House. That's probably what they saved from happening. So they're heroes.
I think they believe that the last one was targeted for the White House. But I'm not here to knock him. I like Wahlberg, actually. I like a lot of his
That was
movies.
just a dumb thing he
It was
shouldn't
just,
have
we
said.
all say dumb stuff once. Not me, but.
Never. Tom never says anything dumb.
Now, they call it Ground Zero where the towers crashed.
Yeah.
And they
Have you
said
been
that
there with the?
Yeah.
Yeah. They did a beautiful job at that.
Hundreds of thousands of tons of toxic debris. So they say there's still a lot of people getting sick from that. I mean, this happened 23 years ago. And the people that are equating cancer back to that.
Who were there breathing in those fumes. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
I have a friend who was a cop at the time in New York, and they denied him. They denied his claim. They said that this is not from that. He's sick.
Probably was. It's kind of like what? Camp Lejeune.
You know what's interesting? There was a major economic impact. The stock market tanked, and a lot of people lost their jobs because their companies closed.
Well, some of the buildings blew up or just were probably covered in soot,
You know what's interesting? And I'm certainly not in any way, shape, or form, complimenting the terrorists, but you know what they did? They knew if they crashed into these towers, airline stocks would tank. So what they did, have you ever heard the term sell short?
Yes.
So
they did that?
They sold short. When you sell short is you're betting a stock to go down.
And they
Normally,
knew
most
those
people-
stocks would go down.
And the way you do it is, say I want to sell a stock short. You can borrow shares of the stock now, and you agree, and then you sell them, but you have to pay back the loan, pay back the borrowed shares.
Mm-hmm.
So say a stock's at $100 a share. I can say to a broker, lend me 100 shares. And then I sell them, take the money, and I'm betting that when I have to pay it back, they'll be cheaper, and I can pay back for less.
Isn't that the reverse of what happened with GameStop?
No, that was a short sale.
That was a short? Did you watch that movie?
I haven't seen it. I've
You
seen
should-
clips of it.
it's really good.
Dumb Money, it's called.
Yeah.
What happened with GameStop is these billionaires were the stock. First of all, GameStop's.
Wasn't the stock super cheap when the guy bought it?
It was cheap because the company was in bad shape.
Yeah.
And these wealthy investors were betting that GameStop stock would go down. They were selling short.
Right. Sorry, I'm talking about the
people
that bought it. Yeah,
they were
a ton of it for $50K.
Now what happens is if too many people are buying it, like basically what happened with GameStop is it's basic supply and demand. So these people and the professional investors, like, they're idiots. The stock's not worth. It's worth nowhere near this price. It kept going up because the bottom line is with anything, if you're willing to give me $1,000 for this water, it's worth $1,000. Mm-hmm. And if somebody else is willing to give me give you $2,000, it doesn't matter if this water is you could buy it for $1.
Yeah.
So like, that's what happened with GameStop. And now these guys that were selling short had to pay back their loans. And they had to buy the stock at way more. Like one guy lost like $8 billion or something. You know, it's like. Or some crazy amounts of money like that.
It was insane.
He's still rich. Like, they didn't destroy him. He's not worth anywhere near what he was. But there was some super, like one guy, Ken Griffin, is a legendary investor. Lives in Florida, I believe. He's worth like $25 billion. He lost some money on GameStop. Another guy, Steve Cohen, is a legend. He owns the New York Mets baseball team. He lost money on GameStop. I mean, these were like heavy hitters. They lost to these amateurs.
To this guy with a kitten on his shirt. You got to watch the movie.
It's called Dumb. I like Shailene Woodley is in that.
Yeah, she did really good.
I like her. Mm-hmm. She used to date Aaron Rodgers.
Do you think she's hot too?
I think she's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've written some scripts with her in it. You know,
in your
Shailene,
dreams,
if you want to come on the
TomCast,
TomCast, talk about your roles that I have for you. Speaking of roles, Selena Gomez is a billionaire now.
Woo!
$1.3 billion. Because she got that beauty company or something.
Yeah, she could be your sugar mama.
She loves Benny Blanco. They're like in love.
Do you think they're going to get married?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I was reading she can't have kids.
I heard
She's
that.
sad.
Someone
She's like,
that
it's
to me
the worst thing
well,
that's happened. Like, I want kids so bad. And I don't know if it's because of the lupus or what. I didn't read the article.
She's been through a lot. From what I read, obviously, I'm not her doctor, but like she has one kidney. And she has lupus.
She gave her kidney to her friend.
No, her friend gave her kidney to Selena.
Oh, sorry. False news. The reverse.
No, she's had some severe health issues. Like,
yeah.
Selena's a really great story. Like, forget, She
seems like a down-to-earth person. Like you said, you don't really know, but from what you've seen out there, it seems like she's pretty legit.
Even you see her, like, I was watching a clip of, she was on Saturday Night Live, and this is like, had to be a year ago or two, I don't remember. I remember my friends went, and they called me in the afternoon on Saturday. I'm working. They're like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "We're going to Saturday Night Live tonight." I'm like, "Oh, really? I have no interest." I watch the show like once in a rare occasion, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Selena's on tonight." There's a gal. Really, I'm on the way to the airport.
I wish.
But anyway, like they show her walking in and like taking selfies with people, like just
being
off the
nice.
street. Yeah.
I wish she would go on tour again. If she does, we gotta go.
As long as not $2,000 a ticket like Taylor Swift.
She's not worth it.
But anyway, I heard a rumor that she attributes her great success to the shrewd legal advice from watching the TomCast.
Yeah, I heard that too. I think it's true.
I heard that. I don't know if it's true. I'm not saying it's true. So where were you on 9/11/01? Were you like even alive?
Yes, I was in 5th grade at Kingsley Elementary School in Naperville, and I was on recess. And then I remember the teachers got all weird and frantic and said there was too many bees outside, so we had to leave recess and go inside.
They lied to you?
Yeah, because they wanted the parents to tell their kids.
There's bees in Naperville, Illinois in September. Oh, come on.
I was too dumb to. Do you think my little ass knew that? I was like, oh, there's bees. Yeah, I don't want to get stung. And so they sent us all inside, and then a lot of parents started pulling their kids out of school. Not mine. I couldn't even miss school if I had the flu and was vomiting. So they kept me at school till 3, and then my parents picked me up, and that's when they told me what happened.
Now, you didn't miss school the next day?
I don't remember the next day. I literally just remembered that specific day because of the whole bee situation. I doubt I missed the next day. My parents, they didn't give a shit about anything. You never missed school. It doesn't matter how sick you were. I would try to get sent home. It never happened. I would go to school puking. That was just how my family was. So never missed a day.
There are people that think, not to get all over the planet, that the U.S. should have more school days. In some other countries that do well, they have they don't have like a long vacation as we do here, like summer vacation.
Like the 3-month summer. Yeah, I mean, I did not enjoy school, so I really looked forward to my
you
summers.
couldn't wait to get off. Right?
Oh my gosh, I hated it.
All right, so enough. We give. I didn't have any close friends that died on 9/11, but I did have, like, I would call them like acquaintances, people who you knew from around, like you know, and you know, that was really the number one state that people lived in who died was obviously New York. Number 2 was New Jersey. So like, I saw like families like destroyed. You know, these women were young widows.
Yeah.
And you know, it was really a sad situation. So,
well, and what was sad is not all of the bodies were recovered. So think of the people where it was just like you had to just assume. Can you imagine that feeling?
I read once that some people, I guess, I don't know if this is true, but that some people fake their deaths on 9/11 to get life insurance.
What is wrong with people? That is insane.
Like, say you have good life insurance.
But how would they even get away with that?
I mean,
just go into hiding for long enough.
Yeah, you have to like go flee to like some other country.
That is just so fucked up because there was families that obviously deserved the money, and it's like you should just feel grateful that you didn't go to work that day and get crushed by a building, and instead you're just committing fraud to get some. I don't know. That's just disgusting.
I have a friend. He lives in Sarasota. That like these planes originated. I know one for a fact was from Newark. I know one was from Boston, maybe 2. But he was flying from Boston, and he was on one of those planes, but he didn't take the flight. Like, he decided to fly, like, the next day or something.
I think there's a movie about that where it shows all the little circumstances of people who were supposed to go to work that day and, like, what happened in their timeline that delayed them. Like, the girl had the coffee line was too long, so she didn't get to work on time, and so she survived it. I forget what it's called. But it was just crazy, like those little tiny things that happened that saved their life, and it was just over a random.
Well, you heard of there was a song in the early '70s called "American Pie." It was *1 huge hit. It was about what they call the day the music died. Was February 1959. A plane crash killed Buddy Holly, Richie Valens. That song "La Bamba" you might have heard. The Big Bopper, a guy called J.P. Richardson. I think there was someone else on the plane too, but Waylon Jennings was a legendary country singer. He was supposed to be on that plane, but he gave his seat up to another guy, the Big Bopper, J.P. Richardson, and so he lived. So imagine you're supposed to be on a plane that crashes, but you give up your seat to someone else.
Oh my gosh,
so
that'd be such a freaky feeling, though, you know.
Or people who called in sick on 9/11, like, because, like, if you were in the top floors of those towers, it was over.
You're done. Yeah.
And, like,
people were jumping out of the building.
A lot of people died jumping. And then, actually, one law enforcement officer died. Someone jumped and landed on him and killed both of them.
Oh, my God.
Terrible. So our prayers go out to everyone who was affected by 9/11. Like, you see signs like, we will never forget. I mean, it was a great weekend for me leading up to 9/11, like I said, but I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And obviously it led us into a 20-year war in Afghanistan and Iraq. But George W. Bush was only less than a mile from where we sit right now at the time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Speaking of presidents, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm just getting tired of it. They had a debate on Tuesday night, Trump and Harris. Basically just both sides putting each other down.
Yep.
You know, it was like second grade insults. You know, it's like, I mean, I made it clear that I support Trump and I'm voting for Trump, but
he apparently crushed it from these polls out there that I'm reading about online.
A lot of people say that Harris won the debate.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess obviously I have a different algorithm that's
it just
feeding
depends
to
on
me.
what you look at. Every media is biased for one side or another, but like,
yeah. I mean, what's up with these dogs being eaten? Do you think?
I don't know. Like, I understand why people don't like Trump. He's arrogant, nasty.
He was doing pretty good.
The fact of the matter is, he was a good president. He's a good leader. He's effective. He gets shit done. But it's like, where are his guys or girls or whoever that advised him? Now they're saying it didn't happen. Like, I don't know, but like he's bringing up immigrants in Ohio eating dogs and cats.
Well, there's videos that came out from people that are claiming that that's what's going on.
Yeah, he said it was on TV.
Yeah. So I don't know why someone like a wannabe president would spread false news. That would be a mistake. I just don't think he's doing that. I think he probably knows what's going on and is just telling the truth, and people don't want to believe it.
You know what I think is interesting though, is when Clinton was president, he's got women in the White House, married man in the Oval Office, and there's a whole laundry. I'm not here to bash the Clintons. There's a whole laundry list of stuff they did. People act like, but people liked him. He was effective. Mm-hmm. Does it really matter if your president is a jerk? As long as he gets stuff done.
I get why it bothers people. It's like, just learn how to speak right and not come across as an asshole. But I'd rather have an asshole that's doing the right job than the non-asshole that's not doing the right job.
I think Harris seems to me, obviously I don't know her, like a nice person. She's happily married. She's has 2 stepchildren.
Does she have kids of her own?
No, stepchildren. Apparently she has a great relationship with the stepchildren. Mm-hmm. She seems like, you have no way, it's like, how do we know if Selena Gomez is cool? She seems like a person that really cares. My problem with Harris, without getting on one side or the other, is the woman's never had it. She got out of law school, went to work as a DA. Mm-hmm. She's had government jobs her whole life. And I'm not here to knock government workers, but you're not really held accountable to the same level. I got to get results. I got to produce.
Yeah.
That if you show up, say, you're working at a DMV a lot of these government jobs, if you just show up and you're not drunk and you're not stealing, you got a job.
Yeah. You don't
and
have
I was watching an episode of Law and Order. I don't know if you ever watched that show. It's one of my favorite shows. So the guy's an accountant for the city of New York, and he turned out he wasn't the bad guy. They thought he was, because usually in Law and Order they have one person they're investigating, and then in the beginning of the episode, and then they find out it's not them. A lot of twists and turns. So they go to investigate this accountant, the city of New York, and he's not there. And they're talking to his boss, the 2 detectives. And they're like, well, was he a good worker? And the boss is like, this is a city job, competent. It's like, even he's saying, give me a break. The guy showed up.
Yeah.
It's like, so I get it why people say these career politicians, that. So she was a DA, then I think she became Attorney General of California, then she became a senator, then vice president. All she did was, so she's great at running for office and winning elections.
Yeah. What has she done?
In California.
Well, I just saw this video about her in California that she helped pass these laws for transgender prisoners to be able to get the surgeries and health care that they need in prison. How do you feel about that? I'm a Republican, but I'm more sympathetic to people's issues than maybe a Trump might be. Mm-hmm. People that are coming here from other countries, we talked about it, they're just trying to get a better life. They're not all murderers. Why are they fleeing? You go live in Venezuela for a couple of months or Guatemala. Yes, but we're talking about prisoners in California.
No, but my point is, where I'm going with this is, so I'm sympathetic. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of stuff for free.
Yeah.
Every week, people come to my office and I just say, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you do that all the time.
And I'm fine with doing that. I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be able in the position to do it. Mm-hmm. And there's a line I'm stealing from when Robert F. Kennedy died, JFK's brother. Mm-hmm. The other brother, Ted Kennedy, gave the eulogy, and there was a famous line. He said he saw hate and he wanted to stop it. I think he saw war, he wanted to end it. He saw wrong and he wanted to right it, or something like that. Mm-hmm. I want to, if I see wrong, I want to right it. Mm-hmm. But having said that, that's insanity that we're paying for prisoners to get friggin' sex changes. Yeah. That's insanity. Where are we going? Is there any common sense left? And there was a philosopher like the 1700s, Voltaire, in France. I think it's 1700s, I don't know. But he's quoted as saying, common sense is not so common. And it's true. Where are we going with this? Where does it end? Mm-hmm. I understand that, people want to get a sex change, but the government's supposed to pay for it?
Yeah. All you're supposed to do in prison is keep them alive. That's it.
You think about it, if I go to the casino and lose my money, which I already said I don't gamble, can I go to a government and get my money back? I mean, where does it end?
Yeah.
It's like, does the government just pay for everything? Mm-hmm. None of us should ever work. The government just give us all money.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like, come on.
Yeah, there's like no end.
No, there's just no common sense.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, enough about that. I think most people are probably just like tired of hearing about it.
Yeah.
I think
we got a couple more months.
She's saying, like all these world leaders hate Trump. Well, I'm fine with that. If they all like it, I mean, it's like Trump brings up a lot of good points about the economics. Like, I'll give you I might have mentioned this on a prior episode. Like, do you know what country smokes more cigarettes per capita than any country?
No.
Japan.
Oh.
Do you know what country makes the best, highest quality, cheapest cigarettes than any other country?
Japan.
No, U.S. We do.
Okay.
So you would think we would be killing selling our cigarettes over there. Oh, no. We ain't taking your cigarettes. We're selling crappy-ass Japanese cigarettes for way more money. But they could sell their cars over here and everyone's buying them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, or steak. Do you know what country loves steak more than any other? Japan.
And they don't take our steak.
They got no beef going on over there like cattle ranches like we got in Texas. So you could buy a steak in Japan, you get like a lame ass steak for like $100.
Yeah.
We can sell you the high quality Longhorn steak
beefy.
for half the price. That's way better.
Yeah. Wow.
Shout out to Longhorn if they want it. Morgan, go down there. I love Longhorn.
I'll go to Longhorn. I'll do some research.
Longhorn's underrated.
Yeah, you gave me a Trey gift card there. It was like one of the combo gift cards. We still got to use the rest of that. I'll do Longhorn next.
I usually give people gift cards for places I like, so they'll take me there.
We'll take you next time. I didn't know that was your ploy.
I give a ton of Hooters gift cards out at Christmas.
Yeah, I'll take the Longhorn, thanks.
All right. Oh, no. Hey, we love Hooters. All right. Enough about politics. Let's talk about NFL football, week 1. Dun, dun, dun. So, I'll give you some of my picks. I said I like Chicago and Miami to be good this year. I actually picked Miami to win the Super Bowl. They looked horrible. They won. They were at home against Jacksonville. They won by 3. They did not look good. But they're playing tonight at home against Buffalo. Now, what happens in the NFL, Morgan, is sometimes teams look ahead. Like, say you're playing a lame team this week, but next week you're playing a really good team. You know you're going to beat the lame team. You're in the back of your mind, we're looking at next week. Mm-hmm. So that might have happened with Miami. So they're at home against Buffalo tonight. Really good Thursday night game.
Isn't this the guy that got arrested? Isn't that Miami?
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Yeah, did you watch that video? This guy's acting like an asshole, driving 100 miles an hour around the stadium in his McLaren with thousands of people around, and then gets pulled over, rightfully so. But in the video, he wasn't like attacking them, and they yank him out of the car, pummel him to the ground, and then the guy that did it, I think the police officer got fired or suspended. Yeah, but he was sounding like a total jackass.
See, I have mixed feelings. Like, certainly if you watch like the George Floyd videos, it's sick. Like, it's hard to watch. And
I don't think they did it because he was black. I think they did it because they knew exactly who he was, and they were like, screw you. You think because you're this NFL star, you can run around acting like an idiot, risking hitting someone with your stupid car. So they were like, oh, fuck you. Like, this is my moment to, I think they were all Mexican.
I think the cops have a tough job. I mean, the police have a tough job. Unless you've done it, we can't walk in their shoes.
They weren't white cops, though. They were not. So I don't know. But I think he just was acting like a jackass, and maybe the cop took it too far by pushing him to the ground.
But Tyreek Hill is a guy who's gotten like a zillion second chances. Like,
Didn't you say he's a woman beater? We don't like the women beaters.
Yeah, he's.
Is he raped? I feel like NFL guys are known for raping too. It's like you really couldn't get the girl to have sex with you here in the NFL. Like, come on.
I don't know. Who was it I was talking about? I don't remember now. When you start getting a little older, I used to never forget one thing. But it's like, I don't know, somebody got in trouble for rape, and I'm thinking, he's a rich, good-looking guy. Get all the women he wants.
I know. It doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, rape is always awful. You should never do it. Even if you can't get a girl to have sex with you and you're disgusting and ugly, don't do it. But it doesn't make sense in those circumstances. I'm like, really?
Well, I'm no psychiatrist, but like they say rape isn't even about sex. It's about
power.
Yeah.
Yeah, men like to assert their power.
So why don't you just go like to a gym and beat up a bag?
Right. Or like be a boxer where you can like actually physically punch someone and not get in trouble for it. There's other ways to do it, but guys are fucked up.
Well, in Florida, if you rape a minor, you can get the death penalty.
I love that. I think that rule should be everywhere.
I think so too.
Like there should just be no excuses for it. We need to have more serious consequences for things so people actually stop. Because when they think there's no risk, of course they're going to do it.
Well,
they're barely going to get in trouble. They're going to get a, slap on the wrist.
I don't think criminals think about it before they do it.
But like think in California, I was looking at something on Instagram with their stupid rule you can like steal $950 worth of stuff from the stores. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course people are going in there and stealing shit. There's no consequences.
Well,
It's wild.
All the store's going to do is jack the price.
They're going to jack the price, or they're going to close, or they're going to have some type of security. Like it's just crazy.
People, I saw no mention of it in anything I read, and I didn't read that much because I'm very busy, but Kamala Harris used that word a couple times in the debate, jacked.
Jacked? Did I just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, like jacked?
Yeah, but like,
what was she using?
Yeah, she was like, they got jacked up. It's like when you get jacked up, ripped off, it's like, I thought that was funny. It was a little ghetto. Whoa. But no mention of that.
But yes, there should be serious consequences for, things that you shouldn't be doing. Like, we need to stop letting people getting away with stuff. It's like, God, you can just do anything now.
But getting back to the NFL.
Yeah, sorry.
I also said I think the Chicago Bears will be vastly improved. They did win. They were at home. They played some really bad team. I'm trying to think who they played. They won at home. But they did not look good. I mean, they blocked a punt to return for a touchdown, and they ended up, pulling out a win. It was a really shocking game. The New England Patriots won at Cincinnati. Like, New England's expected to be horrible this year, and they won in Cincinnati. So that did not bode well for the Bengals. Dallas played at Cleveland. The Cowboys, a lot of people predicted Cleveland would win that game. Dallas destroyed them. And San Francisco, I gave you all this one, crushed the Jets on Monday night.
Nice. They announced the NFL's Super Bowl halftime show. What's the guy's name again? Kendrick Lamar. He's a rapper. Bad choice. Apparently, people are pissed because it's going to be where? New Orleans? Is that where it is? And I guess people think it should have been Lil Wayne because he's from there.
It's going to be at the Caesars Superdome.
And they can't believe that they wouldn't choose like a local artist, like someone that's from there. But then again, I'm like, a rapper? I mean, it's one thing when you choose to go to those concerts, but I just feel like it's going to be boring. They don't dance and they don't sing. It's like, you want like Beyonce or, you know what I mean, or Bruno Mars, like people that can actually put on a true performance. Like, I'm just kind of annoyed that that's the choice. Or like, let's bring back Britney Spears. How fucking awesome would that be? Like, what's she going to do? Like people would tune in for that.
I don't think Taylor Swift has ever done it.
I don't know. She would, yeah. Why are they doing Taylor Swift?
I don't believe she's ever done that.
Like a rapper isn't like for a broader audience, and the performance is going to be, they just kind of hop around and speak into the microphone. But
speaking of Taylor Swift, did you know, Morgan, that her lucky number is 13?
Yes.
And tomorrow is Friday the 13th.
Oh, what's she going to post? She endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
right afterwards. And then someone made some joke. She has like a song called I Make Bad Choices or something. And they're like, really?
I like Taylor Swift, but I mean, first of all, who's going to vote for someone based on an endorsement? Who do I really like? I think LeBron James is unbelievable.
You know who?
But if
young girls 18 to 27 years old that love Taylor Swift are now going to see her post and say, well, my idol Taylor that I love so much and I would cry over to go to her concert is voting for her. I'll just vote for her too. She has huge influence on young females.
Probably, but I mean, you could argue should be like I'm an attorney, as you know, and celebrities are not allowed to advertise for attorneys.
But she's not advertising.
So say Taylor Swift.
She's condoning free speech. I got to give her that. You can't tell her she can't say who she's voting for. She's not advertising. She's just speaking.
I know.
It's just unfortunate for all the celebrities who do this stuff on very important topics that can shape the world, and they come out there and they speak about it, and it really does Tyler Perry and the COVID shot. he came out talking about how the COVID shot's super safe. Everyone should get it because I guess like the African American community was more hesitant to get the shot. So they paid him to go out there and like do a whole film about why you should get the COVID shot. It's free speech, so I can't get mad at it, but they have a big influence, celebrities.
I mean, there are some people that say celebrities should stay out of this stuff, but they have the right. I mean,
that's my point. You can't tell them. You can't take away free speech, but I don't know. It's tough.
You have any superstitions at all?
What do you mean?
Like Friday the 13th.
Oh.
You don't care about that? No concern at all?
No.
There have been studies done, like inconclusive, like whether like more accidents happen on Friday the 13th.
People are so fucking dumb. And then wasn't there a time where hotels wouldn't have a 13th floor?
Oh, yeah, that's still the case. No, like...
really? Planes don't have a 13th row, no, Eric just said?
No, like high rises, they don't have a 13th floor.
What idiot made this up, that 13 is a bad number and tried to scare the whole world into this stupid
There's
shit?
a lot of theories, but nothing definitive. Like where, like
it's a number.
We know where
there's nothing wrong with it.
Actually, I mentioned that I used to gamble heavily. Like I used to kill on Friday the 13th.
So it's a good day for you. So what are you going to do tomorrow?
No, I don't gamble for a long time, but good things still happen to me on Friday the 13th.
The number 13 may be associated with some famous but undesirable dinner guests. In Norse mythology, the god Loki was 13th to arrive at a feast in Valhalla where he tricked another attendee into killing the god Baldur. In Christianity, Judas, the apostle who was betrayed by Jesus, was the 13th guest. So Jesus did it.
Well, we know Loki if you watch, I think he has a show, there's a show on like Netflix or something, Loki. It's kind of lame.
Why do I feel like I've
If you saw you see the Thor movies, any of those Thor movies?
No. I've seen that Valhalla show. There's some Valhalla
he's
show.
Thor's brother in Norse mythology.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, tomorrow's Friday the 13th, so we'll see if that's a good day.
What are we betting on? If you're my lucky charm, Tom.
I'm going to Hooters.
You tell me what to bet on.
I usually go to Hooters early
so
on Friday the 13th.
You trying to get lucky?
I know.
Yeah, you are.
I'm out of water, Morgan.
It's time to go to Joe's.
Yeah, it's time to go to Joe's on Main and get something a little stronger.
We're going to dinner at a really good restaurant here called Neat, SRQ, and our boy Veer Hill is performing.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I gave a shout out to my friends in Louisiana. We'll give a shout out to my friends in New Jersey. Me and Big Joe are going up on Saturday morning for a marketing visit for Tominatorlaw.com.
Fun stuff.
And the New Jersey Alliance of Automotive Service Professionals golf outing next Tuesday in New Jersey.
Are you a good golfer?
No, I'm not. I'm a hacker.
Is Joe a good golfer?
You know what? Like Joe is.
Really?
Like, you would never know it. Like he used to be really good when he was thinner, but he's still good. He's better. He'll destroy me every day.
Wow.
I mean, I can hit it real far. I can hit it further than Joe.
Even with those bad eyes of his.
Well, now his eyes are great.
Yeah, he got his surgery.
I can hit it way farther than Joe, but I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Cool.
But we have fun, and we'll be sponsoring the Alliance of Automotive Service Professionals, and
awesome.
Charlie Bryan is the executive director, a good friend of mine, and I help a lot of their members, when they have their issues where, usually insurance companies don't want to pay them.
Mm-hmm. Bring your business cards with your face on it.
I will bring my business cards, and it's beautiful. I looked at the weather. It's supposed to be like 85 Saturday, like 80 Sunday, 80 Monday. I think we're going to go to Yankee Stadium on Sunday.
That'll
the Yankees
fun.
are playing the Red Sox.
You should definitely go.
And I haven't been to Yankee Stadium like forever.
I've gone once, my first year in New York, 2016.
It's something like, even if you hate the Yankees, you should go. I think you should go to the Super Bowl once in your life. You should go to the Kentucky Derby once in your life. You should go to Yankees.
Well,
also,
I think
Notre
Tominator
Dame.
Law needs to get tickets to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we do.
Tom, make it my dream
I have been to a couple
true.
Super Bowls. And that one's in New Orleans.
Is it hard to get tickets, or is it just expensive? Or is it hard to get them?
You can
or
get
just,
anything if you have enough money.
Well,
actually, it's cheaper than Taylor Swift. Way cheaper.
we actually should try to go because it's in New Orleans, and we were talking about how we need to go there. And instead of going after the wedding, we should just go in, what is it, February?
February is the Super Bowl, yep.
Let's look into it.
And it's at the Caesars Superdome.
But this doesn't count as my honeymoon.
Shout out to Caesars. Maybe they'll be a sponsor. Even though I don't gamble. All right. I think that's it for today. So, again, our prayers are with the victims of Hurricane Francine, is this one that hit Louisiana more because they go in alphabetical order.
I hate that name.
And also to the families of the victims of September 11, 2001, and our friends in New Jersey. And now it's time to head to the bar. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.